Let me get this. Let me share this real quick. I'm not going to share it to a group, though. I don't think I want to share it to a group. I don't like interrupting people's groups with my stuff. So we're just going to stay on my page with this. Let's get this started.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for tuning in to this month installment of the 19 Report. I am your host, Brother Johnny. I walked a thin line between right and wrong. Took my fears to God, then I wrote this song. The spirit kept calling, so I answered the phone. And then I manned up and got some backbone. My mind resonates at a much higher tone. Solid foundation, empire zone. 3 mountains, I'm in one, right to left counted, 9 and then 1, left to right switch it, 1 and then 9, west to east, south to north, a thin line. I know Christ exists, cause his mercy allows me a chance to stand 3 on a square. Yeah, we in there.
Okay, thank you very much for tuning into this installment of the 19 Report coming to you live out of Manning, South Carolina. I want to thank everyone that's been tuning into the broadcast. I want to thank everyone for your support of the Truth Show, the 19 Report, like it is. Microphone check. Every platform that we're a part of. I want to thank you all so much for your dedication in viewing and sharing. The numbers are up high on Dale Castro's page. I want the numbers up high on the 19 Report as well on my personal page, Jamil Salib Zamir. Thank all of you that have logged on and subscribed to our YouTube page. Of course, we've been broadcasting since 2006, and the numbers are not as high as I would like for them to be. So I would like for them to go up higher. Um, it's a numbers game. People need people. I need you all to make this thing a reality, to get the broadcast out, because rather we know it or not, we are stuck in a roach motel here in the South, especially in Manning, South Carolina. No one takes us seriously. We have nothing of our own that is original, no original gang, no original rap, no original dress code, no original talk. We are literally a laughing stock because anything that comes along, we gravitate to it and towards it. And there's nothing worse or more dangerous than a wannabe. A wannabe is a dangerous person because they feel like they have so much to prove that they're willing to go the extra mile to prove it. So we're in a position now where either we're going to pick up and we're going to gravitate towards helping each other and helping ourselves to grow and develop something of our own, or Allah is going to allow us to be swallowed and engulfed by what has been given to us and has been planned for us. Our destruction and demise has already been set. The political parties are either willingly or unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly involved with that. The churches are involved with that. All of your groups that are forming are involved with that. Why are they involved with that? Because the Bible encourages us, and the Bible pleads with us to come out of this world. And coming out of this world, it doesn't mean dying. And coming out of this world, it means recognizing where you are and being able to come out of it and function, be in it, but not of it. We are victims of it. We are slaves to it, and everything that it entails, we love it. Therefore, we can never grasp or gravitate towards anything powerful enough to take us out of that. We have no belief in anything with the exception of what someone else shows us. So people are building worlds and changing things. And we're still in this cycle of life and death here in South Carolina, especially in Manning, South Carolina. There's nothing original about nothing you're doing. Honestly, all of your music sound the same. Everybody done killed so many people. Everybody done screwed so many chicks. The gospel is the same. Everybody love Jesus. We talk God, but we are in fear of his power. So we don't trust in his word. And if I'm not talking to you, then you don't have anything to worry about. But you know, holler when you hit a dog, they're gonna holler in a crowd. So we have to begin to trust God, trust our instinct, trust our abilities, and stand our ground and begin to tell truth, because no one outside of Manning is listening to anything we say. How many of you get invited on the stage and get paid when you go to Cooler Fest? How many of you? You are paid to get on the stage, but you don't get paid to be on the stage. But they'll come in, and I'm not attacking the fest A fest is a fest. It is what it is. If you want to pay somebody $50 to $100 and bring your own liquor and pay them so you can sit and get drunk, that's on you. But I'm telling you that there should be some type of compensation to those of us here who make money for them. And until we start to stand up and do that, man, we're a laughing stock. If a gospel group wants to come to town, then you put 2 or 3 of our gospel groups on that ticket and they get paid for being there, or else you're not coming to Manning. I don't care if it's the mayor or whoever. This our town. And your job is to protect and do what's best for the constituents of the town. All of them, not just a few. So until we stand up and do something for ourselves, man, and say enough is enough, understand the political system, vote out, vote in, hold people accountable, we're stuck. We're stuck. I know this is hard to, I know it's hard to swallow. But every time y'all pull a trigger, y'all pulling it on something that ain't even you all. You killing on something that ain't even something you created. Every time someone votes for a politician of any sort, you're voting based on the color, not the performance. Because I don't care if they're gay, lesbian, transgender, white, black, Puerto Rican, or Chinese. You hold it down for everybody, not just for a few. Okay? I wanted to get that out there. A couple of people sent me some questions. I want to answer those questions really quickly. I got a message from someone who asked me what's up with the HBCUs, their origin, where did they come from, and why the people in the HBCUs seem to be clicking together in fraternities and sororities and forgetting about the struggle of the people, why they take on positions of power in politics, position of power in corporations. Why is it that Budweiser and all of these other Nike sponsor our black programs, and we are slaves to them even though we have degrees? I don't want to hurt your heart, but you can research it for yourself. Just about all of the HBCUs were created by white philanthropists who were having sex or raping black women and produced mulatto children. They didn't want those mulatto children to be a part of what the black children were a part of. They wanted them to be educated, so they took the most educated of our class and started schools, HBCUs, and put in you, most of them light skin or half light skin. Now the whites are coming in and they joining the AKAs, and we'll accept them because we're just accepting of everything. We think that our weakness is some form of godliness, but nah, it's just weakness. We let people in on everything we do. And so in most HBCUs that you see, they were established by philanthropist whites who were impregnating black women, and impregnating them black women, they didn't want their children to be a part of the nigger society, so they put them in a high-class society. And this is not knocking your education, all of you who are educated from HBCUs. I am too. I'm educated too. But this is just a truth that we are not willing to accept. And so once we get our education, you've been brainwashed into thinking that if I can do it, anyone can do it. But no, most of these young boys on the street can't even get a permit. They can't even get a permit or a license. They can't even fill out an application. So they run to the street, and there's no one to help them. There's no one talking to them and listening. There's only people talking at them and taking pictures, trying to get more government funding to build some organization. Go look at the documentary entitled Bastard of the Party. And it talks about how the organizations from Jesse Jackson and all of these other organizations took money from the government to go into the communities and help these young boys, and then left them out there because they didn't know how to teach them. So when you're talking about HBCUs, it's all good to say I'm a part of a historically black college, and we have many very educated, very influential people coming from those schools. And all the awards and accolades and accomplishments they have achieved are warranted. But let's be realistic. Now I got another question. If you want to leave a question or comment on the board, you could do that. Again, I have my Cash App up, $19 promotions. I have under that we are starting back into short films. For those of you who know me, I completed 3 films, The Life We Chose, Volume 1, 2, and 3. Documenting the life of gangs in South Carolina, in Manning, rap groups in Manning, gospel groups in Manning. I went to Sumter to interview some of the entrepreneurs, black entrepreneurs in Manning. Just we were all over the place, and we did not receive a lot of support. And the reason we don't receive support is because our level of ignorance is astonishing. Because we think if Johnny is doing video and I'm doing video, I'm going to outdo Johnny. Instead of saying we should come together and start our own Paramount Pictures, our own Tyler Perry Studios, Manning Studios, or working together, you got 20 different people doing the same thing, talking about they going to the top. You ain't going nowhere. And if you get there, you're coming right back down because the next person's going to be right there waiting on your spot. So that's where we are. So we did the documentary films. I thought they were put together really well. They, of course, could use more work, but I thought over time we would do better and better with each film, but we did not get the support because if Manning people don't see somebody else doing it, they don't want to do it. And I'm talking Manning because I'm from Manning, but I've been blessed to travel around and realize that if you're going to start something, you got to start it and stick to it. The race is not to the swift. Some of you around here talking about Nipsey Hussle and marathon, y'all couldn't run 20 yards. If there's a distraction of a club or some liquor or some weed, you're done. Or a piece of ass, you're done. You're done for the day. You got to stay focused, especially you young black men. Killing all of your talent, killing your brain cells, you're murdering everything. So I wanted to put that out there. We have that out there, the Cashapp. I want to show you, by God's permission, with what Allah has taught me, how we can begin a little at a time to build and grow. It's possible. Now, someone asked me a question, and we're going to get into the COVID-19. We're going to get into the number 19 and the 19 chromosome, as I promised, by God's permission. The next show will be about the RICO Act, because I don't want to get too deep into the RICO Act, and there are current investigations going on that need to be completed. Because I tell you this, there was a time when I passed through a roadblock, and I would be going this way through the roadblock, and someone would be coming this way. I would flash my lights to let them know there's a roadblock. But I stopped doing that years ago because someone said to my wife, well, what if you're flashing your lights to someone who's kidnapping somebody or someone who's legally intoxicated and they're going to get past the roadblock and then kill somebody? So allow them, if they're speeding, let them speed. And so I had to learn that. Let people do what they're doing. And the consequences of your actions are what they are. Only time you're not allowed to do what you're doing in our circle is when you're interrupting our life. Now, we got to fight that. We got to go against that. All right. So another question, someone asked me about the Catholic Church and orphanages. In the same line of the HBCUs, these Catholic preachers didn't stop being horny because they profess to be with God. In fact, the Holy Quran says not having sex is a sin because God created us to reproduce. So instead of having sex with a normal woman, in many cases, these Catholic preachers started having sex with little boys and started hiding the fact that they were having sex with little boys. And I'm going to make it as graphic as I can without being vulgar. And when they couldn't get little boys, if a nun would bend over, they're going to pull her dress up and make her take it. They're going to ejaculate inside of her. She's going to get pregnant. They're going to hide her out until it's her term. The baby's going to be born, and then they open up these orphanages. Look it up for yourself. And they say, oh, these babies are being dropped off by people who don't want them. Those babies were being born by those nuns in the Catholic Church because everybody was having sex. So when you talk about religion, and the lie of what do you call it? A celibacy, abstinence. There's only about 2 people that can hold on to that. And God says that that is a sin. You're supposed to reproduce. That's what he put us on the earth to do. Be fruitful and multiply. So if they're not having sex with the boy, and if they're not having sex with the girl, they're having sex with animals. So the Bible says, don't sleep with the chicken. Don't sleep with the goat. It's in the book. These are sins. It's in the book. Look it up. And on top of that, When that doesn't work, there's always masturbation, and then all of these sex toys that you see come from self-pleasure. And self-pleasure being mechanical makes a person mechanical. So now at one point in 2018 to 19, preachers were being outed as perverts because underground, same thing here in Manning, these people do things. So they're telling you one thing in church and doing something else. I ain't lying to you. I would never call no names. That ain't my stick. My stick is not that. For all of you out there think y'all so tough with this no snitching thing, look, when we were coming up, if one child in the house got into trouble, all the children got into trouble. All the children got punished. None of the children could go out. When we wanted to go to a club or go to a school dance, we made pacts with each other in the home. I remember my brother hit me in the head so hard with a baseball bat that he cracked my eye socket and bruised my jaw so bad that I had to talk out of one side of my mouth. And when we got home, I know we wouldn't be able to go outside anymore, so we made a pact on our way home. I'm not going to tell. I tell you I got hit, but I ain't going to tell her you intentionally hit me. That's how solid we were. Now, this thing y'all doing, talking about no snitching, y'all got to fix that definition for me, man, because y'all telling more on yourself than anybody else. And you would drive by and kill everybody else in the neighborhood, but when them boys come, them alphabet boys come, when 12 come, you just put your hand behind your back, you would turn yourself in voluntarily, and then come out like you that one. Explain that to me. I'm not as tough as you all. Y'all tell me how that work. Now, HBCUs, Catholic Church, I'm not yelling, I'm not upset. Let's get into this thing, the number 19 and COVID-19 and the 19 chromosomes. I am going to try to get some things on the screen so that we can see them. Lord have mercy on my soul. I want to start off with this. The number 19. My whole business model, everything that I do was based and is based on I didn't start my clock. Was based on and is based on the number 19. The reason for that being, when I learned that the number 19 had a significance in biblical in history and in Quranic history and in history in general, as the number 9 is always a solid number, I wanted to stand on that because the song I just played talks about standing on the square. I wanted to stand on that square for the rest of my life. Whatever it took, that's where I want to be. And I want to run with people who are solid like that. Not people who talk a lot or pull guns and kill your own people or threaten innocent people who not in your world or just love violence and all of you nasty young girls that don't wash your ass, but you up on fans only pages and Instagram getting paid in full. None of that. I'm talking real life, solid people in solid situations that see a future for our children. That's where my grounds are. That's where I stand on. I'm not concerned rather my children join it, rather anybody else's children join it, just the people who want to be a part of it. And that's it. You do your thing over there. I do my thing over here by Allah's permission. That's it. Okay, let's go into the number 19 real quick. I want to read this. Dale Castro and I did our 19th broadcast on Table Talk on Sunday. A very good broadcast, very well received. And I was talking a little bit about the number 19, but I don't like to involve Castro in things that are what God told me to say, because he may not agree with what I'm saying. And so I don't want to get him involved with things that comes directly to me. So I was talking about the number 19, and then I stopped and we went into something else. Now, the number 19, as I was saying then, which is a combination of 10 and 9, usually denotes God's perfect order in regards to his judgment in the Bible. The number 19 denotes God's perfect order in regards to his judgment in the Bible. Now, in the last week, we've had meteor shower, we've had an eclipse occur, and we've had the Saturn and Mars and I think Venus visible to the eye. And I'm going to post up some pictures of that coming from the observatory pictures being taken. My son and I actually saw it through the binoculars, but we couldn't take pictures like these are. All of these things affect us. Anything that deals with the earth affects us. It affects our emotions. It affects our health, and it affects our spiritual life. I'm coming to something. It won't take long. This week I was very, very dehydrated. Very still, my lips are very dry. For any of you that know how the God created the earth, rain doesn't come from outer space. The moon pulls on the earth. When you wake up in the morning and you see fog, those are actually clouds. You're riding through clouds. Those clouds are pulled from the earth because the moon wants the water back that once was on it. And because it can't get it, it constantly pulls. So God created us out of the stones of the earth, which is our bone, the vegetation of the earth, which is our flesh, and the water of the earth. So anytime the moon is pulling and fog is rising, the moon is actually pulling on us as well. So we get depressed, we get sinus infections, we get dehydrated, we get aggravated, we have anxiety attacks. All of these things have been happening in this last week, and they will progress. So as we try to make happiness, and the reason the Caucasian tried to make happiness in this false pagan holiday called Christmas is because this time of year was very depressing. So you had to create false endorphins in the body in order to keep you from killing yourself. This is true. Look it up. Don't argue with me if you're not looking it up now. If you're not looking it up, you're just talking from what you believe. And belief don't mean a goddamn thing. I believe I'm going to be a millionaire. I believe, I'm muscular, but my belly just hanging over my stomach, just out there. You can believe anything you want. So this situation with the celestial body, with the planets, and with the moon pulling on the moisture, you're riding through clouds in the morning. It's very depressing. The whole day today was very depressing. All of these things affect us. Okay, so when you're talking about what's going on in the atmosphere and numbers, numerology, or however you want to put it, some people say that's a sin. God never said that. You say that. There's a difference. It tells you what to believe in, what not to believe in. I don't believe in the number 19. I don't believe in the number. I know what it represents. So I live based on that. Now let me read a little bit more for you. Appearance of the number 19. Discovered in 1947, something that most of us never read. The Dead Sea Scrolls were found east of Jerusalem. Among all of the scrolls unearthed over the years, 19 copies of Isaiah the prophet have been identified. 19 copies of the Dead Sea Scrolls have been identified. Of the 10 most frequently mentioned women in the Bible, Mary, Jesus's mother, is listed 19 times. Very significant number for us. It has a power in it. Not that if you say the number 19, it has a power, but I'm going to explain to you what that power is, and then we're going to go into the COVID-19. We're going to go into the COVID-19 vaccine. We're going to go into the Chromosome 19, and we're going to finish it right there, God willing. In Surah 74, the hidden secret, Al-Muddathir of the Holy Quran, it reads this. 74:30 through 31. It says, over it is 19. Listen very closely. We appointed angels to be guardians of hell. We appointed angels to be guardians of hell. So when I talk about the number 19, I'm talking about the struggle that we must go through in order to see ourselves in this world, God's world, who we really are, so we can face the reality of who we are, and so we can begin to fight the satanic nature of ourselves. Now, most people don't want to do that. So when the Bible was rewritten, as it states in the Holy Bible, this is my father's Bible. He passed away in 2000. He passed away in 1990. I'm sorry. and the Bible was given to me. It's my dad. Uh, the Holy Bible. I'm gonna hold this up. The front page of it, right there, where it says Holy Bible. It says, containing the Old and New Testament, translated out of the original tongue, and with the former translations diligently compared and revised, commonly known as the Authorized King James Version. Didn't say it was factual. Said it was translated diligently to the best of their knowledge, and it has been retranslated over 100 times, this book called Bible. So when we begin to retranslate anything, we put it in our favor. We make it to where whatever we're doing is conducive to what God wants. Not that we're not sinning, but that whatever I'm doing is okay with God. And it talks about that throughout the book. It talks about homosexuality. It talks about bestiality. It talks about betrayal, dishonor, gossip, because all of these things we all are a part of, but we're going to justify it because I'm doing it. I don't want to change, so I'll make it all right. So we're teaching the book and making the book conducive to who we are. So most of the people you see, you think they're perfect. They're nowhere near perfect. Nowhere near perfect, but they just make the book go along. You got women who don't like to have sex, so they're not going to cheat. You got women that don't enjoy the human body, so they're not going to engage in anal sex or anything like that. That's not a temptation to them because they don't even like sex. They just dress up pretty and look pretty. They're not sexual people. Same thing with men who don't like women. Same thing with women who don't like men. Same thing with people who don't party in clubs or don't drink or don't smoke marijuana. You can always point at that person over there because they do it and say they're bad and I'm good, because the bad things that we labeled as bad are things that you don't do. But inside your house, are you touching yourself? Do you please yourself? Do you think wrong about people? Do you eat the wrong things? Do you think the wrong thoughts? Do you use profanity in your house? Do you look at dirty movies? Do you turn your head every time a sex scene comes up on a show that you like? Do you look at gossip on TV shows? Do you listen to preachers who lie? Do you listen to shows that lie? Do you listen to people who lie? Do you gossip? Of course we do. So the number 19, it says we appointed angels to be guardians of hell. And we assigned their number 19 to disturb the disbelievers, to convince the Christians and Jews that this is a divine scripture, to strengthen the faith of the faithful. See, the Quran it talks about Christians, talks about Jews, talks about disbelievers, non-believers. But the Bible only talks about Christianity. So many of you hypocritical people who talk about Islam, who know nothing about Islam, and you make us do it, they're bad. I got family members who look at me like I'm crazy because I teach truth, because I say things that they are afraid to say, because they want to make friends with everybody. I'm not too concerned about that. I don't want to make any enemies, but I don't care if you're my friend or not. I need people on my side that can help to manifest what the reality of truth is. Check me if I'm wrong. Allow me to check you if you're wrong. Let's build something together permanently. We got a lot of work to do. So this number 19 and these angels that are over hell specifically clarifies the fact that we're in hell and we're being tested by the circumstances of hell. And then the book says, Bible, come out of her, for she is the habitation of devils and every foul and unclean animal or bird. Come out of this hell. But this hell looks so much like heaven that we are unable to come out. And the controllers of this hell is satanic, demonic. I posted up a picture today of Sasha Obama. She on TikTok, mother effer, her and her friends, you know. Ganged out, big lashes, all of that. But see, when she gets into trouble, the Obamas can get her out and clean up her image, just like they did with Miley Cyrus, just like they did with Izzy Azalea, just like they're trying to do with 6ix9ine, the Tekashi. Anytime they are close to white, we can clean them up. We can fix it. But my children don't get cleaned up. My children go to jail. Your children go to jail. First time, no second time. This is the hell we live in. You can't see it if you don't step outside of it. Yes, it says be in it, but not of it. Yes, if I gotta do what I gotta do it. But I don't glorify it. See, you dudes, you glorify killing your people. You glorify death. You glorify selling drugs when every place from Chicago to Detroit to New York and Harlem, white folks got it now. This isn't racism. They just wait for you to kill your silly self and take over. And this one is the ultimate one. Because on the world screen, you all are looking totally like savages. Totally. You buy the gold, the diamonds, the rings, and all this stuff. Chinese people are taking over our homeland and enslaving our people. They're coming here and getting the businesses over us. And you standing out in front of their store looking like a bum, waiting on a handout, waiting on a little job to do so you can make $1 to spend in their store and buy more liquor. Same things with the Hindus. This ain't racism. It's self-preservation. You so busy trying to be friends with everybody, you allow someone to destroy your whole race, trying to prove that you cool with everybody. I forgave them already. All right. God ain't forgive nobody. You don't abuse another person, another race of people. Make them slaves to your system. I'm coming to something. We almost done. We 13 minutes in, man. Be cool. Y'all marathon runners, right? Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. Then be cool. These angels, to convince the Christians and Jews that this is the divine scripture, to strengthen the faith of the faithful, to remove all tracks of doubt from the hearts of Christians, Jews, as well as the believers. Move all tracks of doubt. How can you remove doubt if a person is not tested and tried? How do you come into a religion already perfect? I know a fella that used to smoke marijuana, chase women, and a girl said to him, hey, you remember when me and you used to be up in that shed and you be touching on my titties and all that? Huh? Me? No. He a deacon in the church now. He never did no wrong. I say, you a damn liar. You did do it. I remember you. Just say yes. That's when I was in the world. I enjoyed myself, man. Them titties was soft and felt good, and I like it. No, you're going to deny it like you were perfect all of your life. There are no perfect people. Christ says, be ye perfect. That means strive for perfection. That means you continuously try to do better today than you did yesterday. That don't mean, nigga, I ain't the only one that smoke. Everybody smoke. That's embarrassing for you to say that. Long as somebody else doing it, I'm good. See, you don't see no gang with just one gang member. Churches got coalitions, politicians got groups. Everybody got groups because you need somebody to go along with you in your BS. And not strong people, just yes men, just anybody that'll go along with whatever you're saying. Thank you for tuning in. This is Jamil Salib Zamir, the 19 Report, Manning, South Carolina. Thank those of you who came on being nosy and got off the air real quick. You'll be back. You just don't want to hear it right now. And it's all good. I hope that y'all continue to support what we're trying to do. I put my tongue on the cushion on the mic, got dust on my tongue. I hope y'all will continue to support what we're trying to do. I know it's different. It's painful. But when the disciples asked Jesus how many people would go to heaven, he said, narrow is the gate and straight is the way. Not many people going to make it in. Not that crowd of people you think, not the crowd of people I think. No. In other words, we're not in heaven. Just because you move into a mountainside and cave and carve out a rock and live there where nobody is disturbing you, that don't mean you're in heaven. That means you ran away from the issues of the world. Let me finish this. Surah 74, the hidden secret. It's a hidden secret. So you got to be constantly on your dean, constantly on your square, constantly busy to find out what the secrets of God are. And the secrets will take the rest. You're going to die not knowing everything. But if the children behind you grasp it correctly, they'll pick right up where you left off and get closer and closer to God. But instead of doing that, we're picking up where our sins left off and we're getting closer and closer to devil. We're at the point of demon. We're at the point of any crooked thing I can get away with. I could care less who I harm in it. If I got to kill, if I got to rob, if I got to rape, I don't care. And in South Carolina, in 2021, this going to be the Manning. And Sumter is going to be the stick-up capital of the world. Everybody going to want to take what they can't get for themselves, so they're going to start robbing people at gunpoint for cars, for jewelry, for whatever, home invasions. Everybody got to feel it. Surah 74, the hidden secret. We're almost done. We're in 74:30. We're in 74:31. To strengthen the faith of the faithful, to remove all traces of doubt from the hearts of Christians, Jews, as well as the believers. See, in the Quran, the Holy Quran talks about all religious sects, and how if we're all on the same page, then we all are striving for the same goal. Now, you may take a different route to the Sumter Mall, and I may go through King Street, you may go through Paxville, the other may go through Somerton and circle back, but all of us can meet up at the mall together, just different routes. But what we do is we separate ourselves and say, them, I don't know what's wrong with them people over there. Of course you don't know, because you don't study anything. You just assume because you went that way and things seems to be going right for you that that's the only way. But some people need something more than what you got. You down here, this is enough. All you wanted was a nice car, a nice house, and money, and look important in front of people. That was enough for you. Some people want a peace of mind. Some people want the truth. Some people take the red pill to get to God. Tell me the whole truth. But the Bible also says that it says, tell us lies. Sing to us untruths. We don't want to hear no more truth. Tell us lies. So you got pastors out there who are telling you lies. And you love it. 5, to expose those who harbor doubt in their hearts. And the disbelievers, they will say, what did God mean by this allegory? God thus sends astray whomever he wills and guides whomever he wills. None knows the soldiers of your Lord except he. This is a reminder for the people. So the number 19 is that you're accepting the trials from God to understand God. So the number 19 is not an easy number. The number 19 means you must go through the trials of life to deal with your inner self, your inner demons, your inner truths, your inner realities. Understand where we are, what must be done in this time, and how we escape this world, then leave out and come back. The physical form of that is Jesus. The physical form of that is Harriet Tubman. The physical form of that is Crispus Attucks, or anyone that comes back to fight after being free from a world that they could have just said, I'm out, I'm not going back. I was out. I was given a choice to either come back or stay out. I'm back. How can you leave it when your family is still here? Loved ones are still here. The true believers are still here. Because Islam teaches that the true followers of God are still in the street. Satan knows that you are the true followers, young gangster, young politician, young dreamers. He know it. That's why he fills you up with liquor. He fills you up with drugs. He fills you up with chasing coochie. He fills you up with the things that distract your mind from the reality of where you are and what must be done, because Satan knows that you are the bravest generation we ever had. And if you stand up, you can win against Satan and anybody else that comes in our path. But he has turned the tables on you through the music, through the images, through the movies. And that's why I said what I said about Obama's daughter, because she can lead you all astray. The show on Showtime with 50 Cent, he's another one. He leads you astray. You're looking at a family that you're siding with each other, but the son killed his father. The mother lied for the son and went to jail. All of this confusion and the destruction of the family unit, and we love it. Can't wait the power come back on. This is where we are. The game is so heavy that the Bible says if it were not for God, Satan would fool the very elect of God. If God didn't shorten the time that we had to deal with this, Satan would fool the very elect of God. Now let's get into it. I want to talk about Chromosome 19 very shortly. I'm going to put it up on the board so you can see it for yourself, the effects of it when it's manipulated. I want to say that the effects of what we are being introduced to, and I'm not going to say what it is the V word or any of that because they'll stop this broadcast as quick as daylight. The change after being given this will be so subtle, but it has been written that it is something that has been rushed to process. Whoever gets the patent first gets the billions. And in the process of the billions, the stock market will rise with those who are engaging in insider trading and betting on the winner of this thing. Some people will become wealthy, others will go broke, but millions will die. This is guaranteed. And the death will be so subtle. It starts with the mind-altering effects of messing with the DNA or altering the DNA. So I want to go into this real quickly, and then we're going to close with 23 minutes in. Let's try to shoot for 40. Let's try to shoot for 40. I want to go to, let's go to this first. I'm going to put it up on the screen. This is referring to chromosome 19. It says chromosome 19 is one of the 23 pairs of chromosomes in humans. People normally have 2 copies of this chromosome. Chromosome 19 spans more than 58.6 million base pairs. The building material of DNA, the number 19. It is the building material of our DNA. Now, if anything is going to attack you and me, they already put it in the marijuana. We're so strong, we're beating that. You started out smoking a little bit of the loud. Then that stopped working. You start hotboxing, just sitting in the car, puffing out. You come to the light, smell like a marijuana factory. But that ain't doing it. That ain't doing it. Now they've mixed up all the chemicals they can in the marijuana to alter DNA. It's working, but it's working slow. Not enough people are dying from smoking marijuana. Even though you don't have a filter on the marijuana and the smoke is getting into your lungs, and let me tell you, Jamaicans die from cancer, throat cancer. Look at King Yellow Man, mouth cancer, all of that. Yes. Marijuana is not the cure-all to end all, because too much of anything, and once it is manufactured in a laboratory and you take the natural nature of a thing and you alter it, by separating the male and the female plant, now there are no more seeds in the plant. If a man is shooting blanks and a woman wants to get pregnant and she can't get pregnant because the man don't have, they go to a fertility clinic. Get some seeds shot up in her so she can get pregnant. You ain't got no seeds, so you got a horny male plant, a horny marijuana plant. Can't get no sex, just like I was explaining to you about the Catholic Church and the white slave masters who impregnated their wenches and wanted to send them to HBCUs. Anything with my blood in it is not going to be a nigga. You're seeing it now. Yeah, you're seeing it now because you're seeing more white people with black children than you ever seen before. They're adopting them. You think they're adopting them, but really they're just sending their child off to have the baby and brought it back. Yeah, we adopted them. Okay, this is where we are. But you got this horny male plant, right? Horny female plant. The males are smoking the male plant. Look it up for yourself. The male smoked the plant. They had a study, and the male said, after I smoked the marijuana, I wanted to have sex with another man. Look it up for yourself. Females the same. Because these plants are horny. They're not being able to have sex. So you take two horny men in an elevator for 10 hours, hey man, somebody gonna get bent over. Guaranteed. Voluntarily. Guaranteed. Excuse me for a minute. I'm not trying to be vulgar, and I'm not pointing fingers at anyone or your sexual preference. That's your business, man. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's your business. But this is where we are. So you begin to alter the DNA of the plants. You alter the DNA of those who smoke the plant. All right? Many of us think that we're going to God when we smoke these plants, but no. You can't enter anything into the body, chocolate, caffeine, liquor, weed, Any of these things going to give you a false positive. You seeing things, but it ain't what you think you see. It's what your mind desires to see. Only way you touch point with God is when you fast. When you eliminate all the chemicals of the body and stop eating and start listening to the universal order of things that you hear from God. Other than that, you hearing from a God, but which one, God knows. So let's go into this. We're moving real good. I thank you for your patience. I'm going to go into this for 1 second. I'm not going to touch on it long because I don't even want to touch it at all, but I just got to make a point. Let me stretch this out a little bit. This is the Human Life International, defending life and family around the world. This is exposing the global population agenda. Most of you don't know about the global population agenda, but Zbigniew Brzezinski, I pointed it out on my last broadcast, where he said there was, and Zbigniew Brzezinski was an advisor to the Carter administration, and also I think he was an administrative advisor to President Barack Obama. President Barack Obama. So he knew the ins and outs of population control. And he said at one point it was easier to control 1 million people because the people did not understand the political system, so they never questioned politics. They never questioned what a Democrat was or a Republican was or independent was or left wing, right wing. They never questioned it. They just voted. He said it was easier to manipulate millions of people. But now that people have come into the knowledge of politics and how they work, it is easier to kill 1 million people. So they have a book out called The Culling of America. They also have something in Georgia called the Georgia Guidestones. I'm not going to look up all of that for you. Look it up for yourself if you really want to know. In this U.S. government population control, they talk about the ways that they're going to control the population through the Kissinger report. Things that must be done, places that must be addressed, and places that must be attacked, and the ways that they're going to do this. It says, according to the Kissinger report, elements of the implementation of government population control programs could include the legalization of abortion, financial incentives for countries to increase their abortion, sterilization, and contraception use rates, indoctrinating of children, and mandatory population control and coercing of other forms such as withholding diseases and food aid unless an LDC implement population control program is accepted. I'm coming to a point now. Massive human rights violations were conducted in China. Look it up, read it for yourself. Massive human violations were conducted in Peru, in Uganda, in India. All of these different people are now coming to America. Outline of population control strategies in the Kissinger report. Come back down for a minute. Outline of the popular control strategies in the Kissinger report. The Kissinger report explicitly lays out the detailed strategy by which the United States government aggressively promote population control in developing nations in order to regulate or have better access to the natural resources. This is what it's all about. Now, I engaged in a shop talk with Excalibur Miller and many other gentlemen, and I was saying that this is all about money and power. And there's no morals in this, just money. The United States needs widespread access to the mineral resources of less developed nations. This is what they did to Haiti under the Clinton administration. The money that was meant for Haiti because Jean-Jacques Dessalines and the Haitian people beat out the British. I think they paid them billions of dollars, and Britain was supposed to pay that money back. Foreign aid was given to the Haitian people, and the Clintons took it. Read it for yourself. The smooth flow of resources to the United States could be jeopardized by LDC government acts, labor conflict, sabotage, or civil disturbance, which are much more likely if population pressure is a factor. Civil disturbance, Black Lives Matter, the Boogaloo Boys, the Proud Boys. This type of frustration are much less likely under conditions of slow or zero population growth. We're growing too fast. There's too many niggas in the ghetto. And we're going to let these niggas kill themselves because if we do it, y'all going to come out and blame us. So give them guns, give them drugs, Give them money because we can print that anytime we want and let them kill themselves. And should anyone come along and wake them up, we got to have another strategy in place for the next generation of children born. And the way we control these next generation of children born is to control the DNA of the population. How do you control the DNA? You control the DNA by what you feed the people, by what you give the people. Now, I want to go into this real quick, then we're going to close because I don't want to talk too much. This is all documented. This is nothing new. Ain't nothing you can go, you heard what Keith said. Jamil said, listen, chromosome 19p, deletion syndrome. This is what happens when the 19th chromosome is disturbed or is deleted from the genetic makeup. These are some of the issues that will come about. Chromosome 19 deletion syndrome is a chromosome abnormality that occurs when there is a missing deleted copy of genetic material on the short arm of chromosome 19. See how all of this come together? All you got to do is be patient. God give me good information to give to you. What are the other names for this condition, also known as synonymous? Deletion 19 syndrome, monosomy 19 syndrome, partial monosomy 19 syndrome. Let's look at some of the symptoms of this. What is chromosome 19 deletion syndrome? Then we're going to close definition, background information. Chromosome 19 deletion syndrome is a syndrome abnormality that occurs when there is a missing deleted copy of genetic material on the short arm of the chromosome 19. The severity of the condition and the signs and symptoms depend on the size and location of the deletion and which genes are involved. Features that often occur in people with chromosome 19 deletion syndrome include, listen to this now, developmental delay. We got grown men out there with their pants sagging. We got grown men out there ready to set it off and kill babies, children, whoever they can kill, proving that they down for the cause. They're going to kill everything. Say something about my people. I'm going to kill everything. I'm going to wipe them all out. Mental developmental delays. So you're looking at these gangster shows all day, every day, listening to these gangster songs all day, every day. They can make you do anything they want you to do. Intellectual disability. You can't even reason with people anymore. They don't even want to talk about it no more. They don't even plan it out no more. They just act on it. See, if you can't control a people, then you must kill them. But you must keep your hands clean, because the greatest trick the devil ever pulled is to make people think that he does not exist, that it does not exist, but it does exist. And we are given an opportunity to fight Satan if we choose to, with God's permission. You can't beat it with a gun. You can't beat it by killing it. It is an internal fight that we all must take on voluntarily, asking God for his assistance in the process. Now, developmental delay, intellectual disabilities, behavioral problems. Does that sound familiar? And distinctive facial features. Chromosome testing of both parents can provide more information on whether or not the deletion was inherited. In most cases, parents do not have any chromosomal anomaly. However, sometimes one parent is found to have a balanced translocation where a piece of the chromosome has broken off and attached to another one with no gain or loss of genetic material. The balanced translocation normally does not cause any signs or symptoms, but it increases the risk of having an affected child with a chromosomoid anomaly like a deletion. The treatment of chromosome 19 deletion syndrome is based on the signs and symptoms present in each person. I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to say this. COVID, I didn't want to say that word. C19. Why 19? Why the number 19? Because Satan always plays on numbers. God plays on numbers, but God doesn't make us believe in the number. And that's why when I read you the part out of the Quran where it says over hell are 19, it's because the angels are over what Satan is doing to see if the people want to get out of it so that they can help you out. You ever seen the cartoons where on one shoulder there's a devil and on the other shoulder there's an angel? The devil talks to you more than the angel does. The angel cannot try to convince you to do the right thing. You must have that desire in you, and then you will be guided towards that right thing or led to that right thing. Right now, everything that we love makes us feel good. The liquor, the weed, the sex. But the long-term effect of these things, having more than one woman, but the long-term effects of these things will destroy you. The streets, you can run so long, then the streets will run you into the ground and gone. Look at my generation. Those who ran the street really, really hard and never woke up to the reality that I must stop. They are torn apart. The women, overweight, stressed, biting their fingernails down to the blood, smoking weed, can't hardly breathe, can't hardly move, disease throughout the body, mental issues, body issues. And we're going to talk about that one day. We were set up and we didn't see, and we didn't have anyone to tell us to see, so we didn't have a chance. We're almost done. Now, this C19 thing, they say it'll cause some problems. Some articles say it will alter the DNA permanently, like with the mercury that is in the other things that you take. I don't want to say the name of it. That mercury never leaves the body. And like with the chemicals in these things, because there was never a long-term study of these things, a yearly study, a monthly study, you don't know what's going to happen later on, but they do. It will alter your DNA. And when it alters your DNA, and that altered DNA is in your seed, then your seed will impregnate somebody with an altered DNA, and this is where we're going to begin to have what you and I have been looking at with the X-Men, mutants. Elongated faces, coming out blind, coming out unable to hear, coming out deformed. But the mental capacity may be stronger than we've ever seen in our lives, but we're not able to communicate with them because they're in a different world. So you looking at these young people today, and they love them guns. They love killing, and they ain't going to stop. They have already started to mutate. They've already started to change from one thing to another that we can't relate to. So you can talk to them and they'll look at you and say, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Then they get out in the street and they loyal to the street. They have mutated. And the only thing that can save them is God, because to them, they're having a great time, but to us, they look like animals. Pants sagging so far down. Skin so dirty and dusty, so dehydrated. Liquor, no water, no Pedialyte, no Gatorade, no Powerade, nothing to replenish the blood. All of your favorite rappers got kidney problems, liver problems, heart problems, mental problems. And you're being led right into that, thinking that you're gonna win against this. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how you think you ain't gonna die. A bullet, when it hits you in the right spot, you're going to die, period. Now, some of you buy these little secondhand bullets that they remake. They're not as powerful. So you can get shot 9 times with a secondhand bullet and you might live. But if you get shot with the right bullet and the right power, one will do it. But the mental incapability of understanding that death means the end makes us not even able to comprehend we have an intellectual disability. This is where we are. I'm going to stop right there. I thank you for tuning in to this installment of the 19 Report. I told you 45 minutes, right? God is the greatest indeed. Thank you for tuning in. I want to try to fade this out, so I'm going to try to find a black backdrop. Then we're going. You can leave your question and comments on the board. Again, if you would like to donate, you could donate to $19 Promotions. I've been doing this for a long time by God's permission, and I don't want to stop doing it. I want to die on it, but I don't want to die at the hands of any of you. because y'all are killing for no reason. And you're taking out good people that have benefit and people who are helping. Rather it's in the street where the people who are organizing are dying. Only the animals are still here. So we need to organize and it's got to be a stopping point. It ain't the police fault. They've been killing us for years. We've been killing just as much as us. It ain't Trump fault. These two cats you got in office right now, Biden and Harris, they're going to be the beginning of a brand new illusion that's going to put us 100% asleep. Y'all ain't paying attention to the news that the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys is cutting up people and stabbing people in the name of Trump. Y'all ain't paying attention to Joe Biden talking to black intellectuals like they're children. You can take it or leave it. This is what it is. The Democratic is so weak unless it's something that being taken from them that they ain't going to fight for nothing as long as you give them enough crumbs that they can look like they're important. We in trouble. Everything that you rely on has turned its back on us. And the only thing left is Allah. That's it. And white people, get your white Jesus, get your white God, get whatever you got. But we got to have something of our own. It ain't personal. If we believe in the same thing, we'll meet each other at the crossroad and be solid. Because the Quran says that people of every color, nation, nationality will be chosen by God. Truth tellers who want the best. So don't get all in your underwear. You ain't been through this black struggle. You don't know it. So when we talk like we talk, man, don't try to fix it. That's an insult. Don't try to fix our pain. Just back up. And if you can help financially, do that. If you can help get us some land and some buildings and some property and some equipment, do that. But don't overstep your bounds trying to tell us that we shouldn't feel like we feel. You ain't been through what we've been through. You don't know. And I'm not talking about the people who created hell. I'm not talking about you young boys who were raised well and chose to go in the street and do stupid mess. Yeah, whatever you get is what you get. For those who were born into it and had to survive it, I'll listen to your story. But those of you who had a chance out in a better life and you chose to go into the jungle, hey man, you don't get nothing from me. I hope you make it, but you didn't have to be there. You could have been one of the ones to pull the people out of the mud. Only reason you should be there is to go get your people, and that's it. So I thank you for tuning in. This is Jamil Saleeb's Amir Manning, South Carolina man.
Thank you so very much for tuning in to this.
Please stay tuned. We will be coming back again very soon. Thank you for tuning in.
I walked a thin line between right and wrong. Took my fears to God, then I wrote this song. The spirit kept calling, so I answered the phone, and then I manned up and got some backbone. My mind resonates at a much higher tone. Solid foundation, empire zone. 3 mountains, I'm in one, right to left counted, 9 and then 1, left to right switch it, 1 and then 9, west to east, south to north, a thin line. I know Christ exists, cause his mercy allows me a chance to stand 3 on a square. Yeah, we in there.